Hi again, everybody. It's Kevin Canessa coming to you live from the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com on this, the 22nd day of December in the year 2025. I'm joining you this morning with a few updates to what we have been talking about all weekend long, and that includes the names of the suspect and the victim in Saturday night's homicide, where a man was killed by another man who used a bow and arrow to shoot him in the back. The person whose photo you see on the screen right here is Oscar Fiehu, I guess would be the way you would say it. He's 44 years old and he lives in Kearney. And at present, he has been charged with murder, aggravated arson, unlawful possession of a weapon, possession of a weapon for unlawful purposes. And Hudson County Prosecutor Wayne Mello says that further charges are more than likely going to be levied against this man. A lot of people were concerned yesterday that because he was being evaluated with a psychiatric test and a battery of tests, that maybe some charges would not be forthcoming. But as you see now, as announced by the Hudson County Prosecutor's Office, he has been charged with the aforementioned crimes, with others more than likely coming in the not too distant future. The victim of this horrible, horrible crime is Pablo Criollo. He's 45 years old, and he lives in Harrison. So, two communities in West Hudson have been negatively and adversely affected by this horrible crime that took place 2 days ago. And while I don't know him personally, I know that Pablo does have children, and he is married because we have seen over the last couple of days his partner posting on social media, because some people were joking around about this, which is as despicable as it gets following a homicide, and posting memes and comparisons to superheroes and things of that nature. This is a man who is 45 years old and lost his life in the prime of life with children. One of the children is very, very young, too. And she's going to grow up without a dad now. But the good news is this man was ultimately taken into custody yesterday at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And the Hudson County Prosecutor's Office is throwing the book at this guy, which is exactly what everybody wanted to see, I'm pretty sure. And what, if he is indeed guilty of the crime, he deserves. So I don't want to convict him on my own right here, but after what we all went through for the last 2 days, and this was a very, very trying day for so many people, from the police officers who were on scene, the SWAT team from Hudson County, the firefighters who were putting out a fire while this guy who you see on that screen was in that house still, squatting in the basement. They went and put out their hoses and lifted their, the buckets and the ladders, knowing that this guy was in there, and they could have been an easy target, and they still did it. They still did it anyway. And there were numerous other fire departments that were also on the scene that joined in mutual aid with the Kearney Fire Department to provide coverage in other places when calls came in. And don't you know, calls came in. Yesterday was just one of the most bizarre days. Across the street from fire headquarters on Midland Avenue, there was a car fire across the street from fire headquarters. It was just one of those days that by the time it was over, it almost felt like it was a relief. It really was. But, folks, the bottom line here, Oscar Feihu, 44, of Kearney, is behind bars. He has been charged with murder, arson, and numerous weapons offenses, and he will not be getting out before his trial. Believe me, this is one of those cases, thank God, where you don't have to worry about the suspect being sprung out before anything happens further. So what a day. What a day yesterday was indeed, and it has sort of come to its conclusion. And this is important too. I know most of you have probably seen this already all over social media, on Carney-centric pages especially. There is a GoFundMe that was set up for the family of the victim, and $20,000 has already been raised almost in this case. So if you are so inclined, you can find it there on all those different forums and things of that nature, and we'll put a link up too in a little while from now. But that's where everything stands right now. This guy's behind bars, and God rest the soul of the victim, Pablo Criollo, a 45-year-old man from Harrison who lost his life entirely too young. If we learn anything more, although I don't expect that will happen at this point, now that the charges have been levied, it seems like this will be the conclusion until this guy goes to trial. But if we do find out anything more, we will certainly let you know. We have this in this week's edition of The Observer and at theobserver.com if you want to read a little bit more about the arrest of Pablo. Pablo. The arrest of Oscar, rather. I'm sorry, I'm confusing the two. And you can read that at theobserver.com. It'll be in The Observer this week as well. Okay, everybody, try to enjoy the rest of your Monday, and we will talk to you tomorrow where we recap this week's newspaper at The Observer Live. Take care. Bye-bye.